Welcome to Grow Overload. I'm Anthony, and let's talk about pricing on future GPUs and CPUs. We have been in an interesting CPU, GPU, computer market here for about 9 months ish. I know I have a good friend of mine. He's trying to build a computer. I like to build a computer, not a high end one, but just want to replace my media center around here, give them my media center to somebody else. Um, so I like to be able to do a couple things. It's just the market's just a little bit too expensive right now to do anything. And he's been able to get a lot of his parts for a good price, and he watches, and when he can see it for MSRP, he grabs the price, which is great, right? That's the way we all should be doing it. Because I think what right now happened is, in the future of pricing, is it's going to get more and more expensive because with all the GPUs just selling like hotcakes, the CPUs selling like hotcakes, and for whatever price they put out, it seems like eventually within a week or so, if you're getting a stock every week, they're all sold out. And in doing that, wow, I mean, why does a company care if they have to only hold a product for 1 week and it's all sold out? It doesn't matter to them, right? No matter how trying to get it into more people's hands. Why? It's already sold out, right? So if I can sell it out in a week at super absorbent prices, then who really cares? And I think that this is the approach they're going to take for the next generation launches. Nvidia, I believe, lesson they learned this time was they made a mistake in lowering the price, right? They lowered the price, everyone was happy about it. Now, for a very short period of time, it was you could get a few cards for MSRP, and now that 3080 is going for insane prices, right? Um, I keep my finger on the market a little bit here for pricing because one, I like to build. I have a friend that's building too, and I have other people that come to me asking me when there's good deals on parts in case they want to upgrade or in case they just let's say I'm putting a computer together for them as well, and or it's one of my older machines that I'm just giving away, trying to help somebody out, and they just need usually they need to buy a hard drive or something, which is a lot cheaper SSD. But here, on the GPU and CPU side, which I'm going to focus on a lot in this video, it's came up where you're even hearing rumors where Intel is saying that they're going to increase prices on the next generation. Uh, you have the 6600 XT, which isn't even released yet. AMD floating out some MSRP numbers, which were for $400 for this card, was just crazy. I don't think it's worth that, but I also don't think the 6700 XT should be priced at 480. I think it should be lower, but at the same point, that's the one card I probably would get, or the six. I mean, I guess the 6800 or the 6800 XT would be I could be talked into. It's just I think I'm gonna have to recalibrate myself on how I look at prices, which is dis- annoying to me, right, in the future. But at the same time, it's either that or I'm going to be looking more at used products or waiting longer. Which, I mean, I wait long enough, so who knows? Maybe waiting longer is just going to be in the cards for me. And I could see, and I think Moore's Law is dead, said this, that AMD and NVIDIA would like to kind of see that $400 mark and under go away. And that would just be filled by the used card market or APUs. Well, if AMD wants to do that, bring out APUs that can fulfill that market, good ones, and maybe they will. And then at the same time, though, that's the market that you're really getting people into, right? Those APUs in that market, right, in that section. When I was a teenager, right, I guess it was a little bit cheaper than that. But let's say currently today, I bet you teenagers, right, that's the market. Well, I know this because people ask me, they have teenagers, they say they have this much money and they can go get a car. Which car do you recommend? So for that price, you're kind of excluding a lot of people to get entered into gaming on a low end card. I mean, unless they're going to go to the used market. Now, a lot of these kids, they're not looking at the used market. They're not, They're looking at your Newegg sites and everything else. Maybe Newegg needs to have a used section. Um, I think Amazon has something like that where maybe they can sell some used stuff. But you're trying to get a lot of these kids or people entering the gaming continue to grow, right? If you price yourself out of the market, eventually what's going to happen, NVIDIA, AMD, Intel, is that no one's going to be able to get in to expand that market, which means that market will eventually shrink because no one's going to want to pay the prices. Supply and demand, and hopefully, if that happens, that they correct. But this last generation, or I should say, this current generation, doesn't look like it's going to change things. I think Nvidia in this was an experiment to, one, they put the 3080 at a much cheaper price than it was last time, right? It was $1,200 or something for the 2080, and now it was 800, 700, 800. I'm blanking on the MSRP. It's been so long since I've seen it. On the 3080, and people were just head over heels saying, "Wow, Nvidia did us a solid, such a great price." And then we had shortages in manufacturing and all that, plus cryptocurrency mining, plus a demand that has been not seen in probably ever for gaming parts. And you get the combination of this, and you have a supply issue. Now, while mining's a little bit down, I dabble a little bit in mining. I have just a few cards here to just keep up and just try it out and just keep up with that market. But that is, I don't think, even really a huge factor right now, unless people are thinking it's going to be jumping back up right away. It's been sitting in the same, going back and forth, pricing wise, for about 2 months now. So I think that people are kind of over it, right? People like to buy in when it's really, really high or get into it, and then they drop out when it drops like this. I don't necessarily subscribe to that, but that's what it seems like people usually do, and then you get the sell off on, your eBays, your secondary sites. So in doing that, right, they have, uh, you can get a secondary card there, but if you're somebody new to gaming, unless you're looking on eBay to begin with, and you're taking a chance there too, right? eBay's policies, I guess, kind of protect the buyer a little bit better, but you also have to, you know, for me, I usually make sure the cards, if they work, I clean them up, right? All my cars I'm mining are all downclocked, they're all undervolted. I take really good care of them, make sure they're in a clean environment, and my main rigs and stuff don't ever get touched mining on. I just do it on dedicated stuff. So usually those cards will probably go until they die, and then who knows. But the overall market, right? And I like to try some new cards in mining. I like to try some new cards on my desktop, for crying out loud. But I'm not spending all this money right now that's over the price of MSRP to do it. And getting back to NVIDIA, what they learned here with the 3080 and everything else is I think that they learned that the 3080 can be jumped up in price, and it should have been $1,200, and the 3090 should have been $2,000, and everyone would have still bought it. And in the current marketplace, they would have still made a lot of money. Because why does it matter to them if they have it in stock for a day or a week? If they're still, the next shipment is in another week, they're still clearing out their stock within that whole week. So if they were to increase the price again, let's go to that price is up at, let's say, yeah, let's say the price for the 3090 was two and a half, or like 2.5 grand, $2,500. And now it takes a week to sell out those, but your next stock is in a week. Nvidia is making more money. The full stock is still selling out each time, and you don't have to drop the price until they sit on the shelves for a longer period of time. You got to keep your stock in. You got to seem like you always have stock at these stores. So it's a win for Nvidia, right? I can show you that it's always in stock. Same thing for AMD, right? And as Intel gets in here in the GPU market, maybe Intel will come out cheaper, but Intel's also a business wanting to make money. So I could see Intel saying, well, everyone else is having fun, let's have fun too, right? I don't see Intel just dropping the price let's say Intel was just deciding to sell their card for 250, but now since everyone else is able to make 500, Intel's still going to sell it for 250 when they could sell for 400, make an extra $150, and then still undercut AMD and Nvidia. Why would you, right? To me, that doesn't make much sense as a business side. Now, as a consumer, I want that 250, right? Because it's cheaper. So I'm trying to look at it both ways, and I'm not defending these companies at all because I am annoyed as crazy because I like to upgrade things. I like to be able to help out people. I like things to be affordable. I like more people getting into gaming, for and foremost, right? I think gaming's fun little outlet to have for people that just want to enjoy a. It's like people going and watching a movie instead of watching movies and stuff. I like to go play a game, right? That's my form of entertainment. And maybe there's maybe the Steam handheld, the Steam Deck, and all these other items that are coming out. These handhelds are a good replacement to get people into gaming and get people to jump on this. But it's mind-boggling to me where I kind of think pricing's going to go because I could see it where the next generation CPUs, yeah, you'll have I don't and we complained about this with Intel, and I just want to start that out first before I jump into this. Is Intel was stagnant, right? At core count and everything else for years. And we're like, oh, AMD just jumped in the market and went game besters. Well, here's the thing. Now AMD's the leader, and we thought, well, AMD's not going to do this. Nope, AMD's going to do this because they didn't learn from Intel, and they're going to get I wouldn't say stagnant. I think they're still developing it, their processors, a little bit more than Intel were. But we're going to have the same core counts over and over and over again. Where I personally think the 8 core should be your mid tier. That your i5s, your R5s, that should be your 8 core. Everything else lower, 6 core and under. And above that, you get your 12, 16, 24, etc. That's my personal opinion. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Intel will maybe push it. I think AMD's going to stick like at 16 cores, stick at the same exact stack again, right? AMD's kind of getting to be AMD's the new Intel, right? I'm sure AMD loves to hear that, right? um, and Intel's going to have their, I mean, we even heard that Intel processors and some rumors are going to be increased in price. So if that's there, well, then you got that whole side of things, right? The increase the price. And then Intel have their their 24 thread 16 core processor, right? Where you have 8 powerful cores, 8 little cores, or big and little, and then they'll have something like that, which fine with. I really want to test that out to see how well it performs. I really would like to see this in a laptop. That's where I think it's going to really be something I'm interested in. So you have that, and then let's say on the GPU side, Intel jumps in there, Nvidia and AMD. I could literally see them jumping in and saying, for about the same performance, maybe let's say 10% better, you get the same um, performance for the same price, but our high-end cards are going to jump up. So basically, you're going to keep the current stack the way it is in pricing, and then your high-end cards are going to be way more expensive. And I could see them going all the way up to $3,000. I could even see them going as far as to creating another line. And the good old gamer actually had this, and I was listening to him and saying, "Oh yeah, you have an HEDT side as well. So if you really want to spend money, you can go there, and you have like a Titan 1, 2, 3, 4, right, or a AMD. I don't know what they would call it. They wouldn't call it Super. They wouldn't call it Ti. They wouldn't call it Titan. So maybe Ruby or something. Fury 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have this. But the 3090 or the 4090 and the 7900 would be priced around, I would say, 2K, $2,000, and you go from there. But that's just kind of how I'm seeing this. Is that the pricings I do expect to increase. And I do not think they will correct until one generation is just horrible on the sales line, right? And I could see them dropping prices pretty quick over the month, right? or over the time that they have the release cycle if no one's buying them. However, nobody needs to buy them. And right now, their marketing machines are insane at being able to get people to say you need this and you have to buy it. I'm still running a Vegas 64 for my 4K stuff, and I thought, oh, I really don't want to use FSR or all these, to make the frame rates a little bit better, easier to play. But hopefully, I get my new monitor here pretty soon, and I get to try out maybe some FSR stuff. I'm starting to think, you know what? I'd rather run an FSR than pay $1,000 for a graphics card, or even I'm still in the boat of I'd rather use FSR than pay $650 for a graphics card. I'm in that $500 range where I like to be, but maybe I have to adjust. Maybe I'm just out of touch and holding on to what I hope is still there, but everything kind of going on is showing that there's going to be increase in prices, right? They're even talking about motherboards next generation because they use DDR5, they use PCI Express 5, so there's all this extra engineering, which there is, right? I'm an engineer. I write software during the day. I kind of know how this all goes in development cycles, right? And it's it's expensive, but I just hope that maybe some company has a semblance of it saying, hey, we want to make something a little bit affordable, right? Who knows? Maybe we get something a little bit affordable, maybe we don't. And maybe they get rid of the lower tiers. Maybe the lower tiers are filled by the used market, and there it is. But let me know what your thoughts are on where you think this is going to go. Uh, yeah, I'd say buy the cards at MSRP if you can. Try to keep prices down. And if you need to build a computer, you need to build a computer, right? There's You're gonna have to spend the money anyways, right? That's just the way it is. Just try to find the cheapest, card that you'd like to buy or whatever else that fits your budget and what you're trying to accomplish. For me, and if you're having the luxury of waiting, right? I usually wait, try to get a lower price, or I try to feel the market out to see where I really can purchase the right time. Now, for those people that need to buy, they need to buy, right? That's just not a choice, right? You can't really wait if you need to have a computer to do your work or to get something done and you have nothing there. So that's the other side of it too, is that eventually some of these components break, and I went out of focus for some reason, uh, and you need to replace them. So I'm just hoping that I can get mine along long enough that I can uh, get another computer. I actually really would like to go back to a desktop platform from an HEDT platform. My kind of workflow has changed, so I don't longer build huge code bases on this computer all the time. And so the less frequently that I do it now, because it's all my own stuff, I can get by with a lower core count processor. I've upgraded to a 24 core Threadripper here, but then I can go through and kind of help out, get this to something else, give it to somebody, but be able to test that side out too, because I think that'd be kind of cool to test out the desktop line and get into that sort of lineup as well. So let me know what your thoughts are on the pricing for next generation, what you expect, where you sit on this. I, I, I want low cheaper prices, really. That's what I really want. I want more performance for a lower price. That's what I came to expect, right? Everything, in the computer world, that was the best way. As technology progressed, it got cheaper over time. And that's what I loved about it, right? You could get more performance for cheaper price, so more people would be getting into it. And I think next generation might be the first time where we actually get um, same performance for the same price for across the entire generation. You know, at MSRP, not at these. Let's jack up the price as soon as we try to sell it. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and I'll be sure to read them. And I do hope I'm wrong in this. I will say that I do hope I'm wrong. Um, and I do want to say God bless, and Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys helping out this channel and helping it grow. It's been great, and to really just talk to the community and really get your guys' thoughts as well. It gives me more ideas and more perspective on what everybody else is thinking. And I like to see that as well. So thank you guys so much. And until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.